Hey guys, real quick. All right. I just want to touch base on this with the movement again in Maine. There's the crazies trying to ban remote collars and stuff like that. I'm not going to mention the forum that this is on and stuff. I have other training colleagues and stuff, but I read this. It blows my mind. I guess that they went to adopt a dog from one of these rescues somewhere. I'm not even know what state this is. They denied their request, and here's what they wrote. Thank you for your interest in adopting a dog from blah 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 rescue. We appreciate the fact that you're interested in adopting this dog. We are unable to approve your adoption for the following reasons. We do not endorse non-science-based training methods. We use force-free training methods, the latest scientifically proven training techniques used by national trainers such as blah, blah, blah. Dr. Ian Dunbar, they list here. Dr. Ian Dunbar euthanizes dogs. He euthanizes dogs. You can go on YouTube and see this stuff. I mean, it's insanity. It's just like the local shelter in this area that refused to work with us on a dog with severe leash reactivity that I know that we would have been able to resolve or manage, and they, instead of telling the dog no or giving any type of correctiveness to that dog, they decided to kill the dog instead. I mean, unbelievable. The stuff is trickling into the United States, man. Just be wary about it. Again, you know, somebody went to adopt a dog, and they said, thank you for your interest in adopting the dog. We are unable to prove your adoption for the following reasons. We do not endorse non-science-based training methods. So the person may have had a prong collar or a martingale or something on the dog, and they refuse to adopt the dog out because of that. This stuff is going on. It's insanity. I think it's more of like a cult. And just be wary of it. Make sure that if you own a dog and you use the word no to your dog, or you have a martingale or a prong collar on your dog, or use a slip lead, that you are paying attention to this, because one day it may be illegal. Stuff like this has trickled in, and it will continue to do so. And I just read this, and I just wanted to do a live video on it real quick to let you know. I thought that was insanity. Here's somebody who wants to adopt a dog, and because they probably use a prong collar or a martingale or something like that, they say, no, I'm not adopting you the dog. And then they reference Dr. Ian Dunbar, who euthanizes dogs that he can't resolve using treats, or this damn can of Cheese Whiz that I have over there. I mean, look at this thing. People literally train with this thing. I would not. I just bought this to show. I was going to do a video on it. Look at the chemicals that are in this damn can. I would not give this to my kids, okay? And people are giving this stuff to their dogs. It's not good. It is not good for the dog. But I don't care if you're like not having enough money for treats or something. If you don't, literally, it's cheaper. I think I paid $2 because I was going to make a video on this thing for this can. There is chicken breasts at the store that you could buy for maybe $2 or $3 for a packet. Cook it up, chop it up in little pieces, and then use that as a treat. But that a place that's similar to that just denied that person for adopting a dog like that probably would approve that, not thinking that that is harming the dog. That is causing harm to the dog. But rather than saying no or using a training tool, they rather feed their dog something that could possibly be poisoning them, and that's okay in their eyes. I will call out their hypocrisy every single damn time. So I just get irritated with that, because there's so many damn dogs up in the shelter. We just got back yesterday from Lehigh County Humane. There is puppies there, there's beagles, there's German shepherds, and if the people just relinquish them, I don't want them anymore. So now the dog's sitting up there. You know, it's society's, it's that shelter's responsibility now to try to take care of these dogs, you know. So just return the dog to the shelter. And some of these people, they're listening to these force-free trainers to bring the damn dog to the shelter. That's the secret that people not talking about on these rescues and shelters that are saying, oh, we approved only the force-free movement. We won't use a prong collar. We won't use a martingale. I know for a fact that those same force-free trainers are telling their customers when they can't stop a dog from barking or having leash reactivity to bring the damn dog back to the shelter. So what do you think's going to happen to the dog when it goes back to the shelter? And now they have to handle a dog with leash reactivity that the certified trainer that does force-free stuff told the person to go do. The dog's probably going to be euthanized or moved on to another shelter where it might be euthanized. It's insanity. And then they have a cult-like following of people that are all like, yeah, force-free, can of Cheese Whiz. Can of Cheese Whiz, look at the chemicals in this damn thing. Look at this. A can of Cheese Whiz, you're hurting your dog. You're poisoning your dog by giving them bad things to eat. But that's acceptable. Giving them bad things to eat that could make them sick or cause them to be overweight is acceptable, but saying the word no or using a tool is not. I'll call out that hypocrisy every single time. And I just get irritated about it because I do a lot of shelter work. And, you know, I'm a board member on the shelter and stuff too. To see the dogs going in on recommendations from force-free trainers saying, yeah, bring the dog back to the shelter. It's barking. It's lunging at people. I can't stop it using a can of Cheese Whiz or a treat, so bring them back to the shelter. They're not telling people that. Yet they're on their Facebook pages, on their business Facebook pages saying, yeah, Cesar Milan's a bad guy. Prong collars are a bad thing. Slip lead things are bad things. We can resolve everything using treats. We can resolve everything using positive reinforcements. That's all lies. All lies. And those same exact people are literally telling people to bring the dog back to the shelter to be euthanized. And very well-known trainers around here do that stuff. They should be ashamed of themselves. I'm not, to use something that I watched from Jeff, I'm not mad, I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about saving dogs' lives and stuff, especially in the shelter, and then I got to deal with, I read that, and then I'm just like, that blows my mind that they would deny somebody from adopting a dog. One time, even at a shelter that I'm involved with around here, they tried to stop an adoption at a house that was like a mansion. Imagine this freaking life this dog would have lived at, because the people had an electric fence. Are you kidding me? You would keep the dog in a damn kennel in a shelter, then adopt the dog to go out to a house that has an electric fence? The mindset of a force-free trainer or force-free movement. That's the insanity, man. Come on. Incredible. Incredible. All right, I just got fired up reading that. I'm just passionate about it. Especially, and if you're not passionate about it, take a day, one day, if you're not involved, go down to the local animal shelter. You'll see what I'm talking about. And you come out of there and you try to say that you're not feeling like crying walking out of there, leaving dogs, like all those dogs. You think they're going to be there for a while. A lot of them are. Some of them have a lot of issues, man. Some of them have a lot of issues. But if you're not open to using these tools and things, you'll get to a point like a local animal shelter did around here, kill the dog. Kill the dog. I was willing to give them thousands and thousands of dollars a complimentary board and train program that we do here, rehabbing dogs. Their solution, force-free movement, kill the dog. That's insanity. It really is. Yeah, you come on in. Here, we're working with a dog here. Here's Abby. She comes here for daycare, but doing some bad things, you know, jumping and stuff. Nothing serious and stuff, but she's going to do kennel up in the crate. I mean, look at these dogs that we have in here. Notice, I mean, I'll show you guys here. There's a ton of dogs in this room, and I'm talking in. These dogs some of these are shelter dogs. Complimentary stuff. Max was going to be killed at Newark. Okay? They pulled him on the day. I said, I'll take him and rehab him. He had severe kennel stuff going on. That's probably why it was going to happen to him. Do you see severe kennel stuff going on now? He's next to dogs. Okay? Jolie's another story, little dog. Out of all the dogs here, she's the most problematic one, right? I'm on my own page live. And then we got Tuesday. Great dog. I really do love this dog. It's awesome. Awesome dog. She's been at the shelter for like a year or two, right?
Yeah.
Common sense for animals. Emerald City Rescue. This dog here actually is boarding with us. We got referred. Jeff Gelman's been sending us dogs to board. That he had trained. So this is one that he had trained, and they're just a local dog in the area or southern PA or whatever, and they drove up to board their dog with us. And then we had Brock upstairs and stuff. But, instead of hiding the fact, I don't do a ton of posts like this, but instead of hiding the fact about what is going on in the training world with stuff, and if you really do care about dogs, if you really do, get involved, because the people behind your back are euthanizing the dogs that are force-free trainers, that force-free movement. It's probably one of the biggest killers out there right now, especially if these well-known ones in this Lehigh Valley are telling people to bring their dog back to the shelter for barking or jumping and stuff, because standing behind a shower curtain and throwing treats underneath the shower curtain in a group class ain't working. That's what goes on there. That does not go on in my house. I can't even imagine that going on in my house. Or even in my classes, I mean. But if you haven't seen it already, we're also, which is cool, and this is why, I do a lot of this shelter stuff, and this actually brought a tear to my eye, man, reading this. We were mentioned here in the Lehigh County Lehigh County Humane Society newsletter on a dog named Sally. I really, really love this dog. And I did not know this was the dog when I pulled her from the shelter that day. They told me they had an issue dog. I got home, I looked at the Facebook, and I was just going to make a post on it. I was like, holy crap, this is that dog. And this was the dog where somebody was using as a bait dog. And then I guess she lost or something, and from what I heard from a police officer, this is from what I heard from a police officer, they then hit her over the head with a hatchet and all this other stuff. Rehabbed her, man. She was such a good dog. She played out in the daycare and stuff. I mean, good dog. Not something, definitely not a dog that you're going to solve with just using positive reinforcement. Now, did we use positive reinforcement during the training? Absolutely. Absolutely. But we also punished the bad behavior that we did not want anymore. Okay? And the fact that they're trying to remove that stuff from dog training and stuff. Literally today, I'm not making this. It's just what we're dealing with. This is how it's trickling in. I had somebody come here with a dog for daycare. I missed it because I would have told them just to take their dog and leave my place. But they came from my dog daycare side of the business, and they brought their dog in, I guess, for the first time. And they brought the dog out there out of control, just out of control. And I guess it's being force-free trained somewhere else. And one of my employees, we use water bottles out there. So we also I have like a staff that I walk around with, stuff that we've used for 15 centuries, walking around with dogs. And there's a pack of like 70 dogs out there. So the dog's jumping, acting out of control. This is force-free movement training anyway. And one of my employees sprays the dog with water to try to get the dog to stop doing that. And I guess the lady was yelling at my employee, "Don't you use water on the dog. That's not what we do for training. Don't you have any treats out there?" Literally, that's what they told me she said. "Dude, don't you have any treats?" What, I'm supposed to bring a freaking bag of treats out there with a pack of 70 dogs? Don't tell me how to run my business. Actually leave. I don't need that. I'll have a conversation about why I don't use treats out there in a pack of 70 dogs. Sometimes we have a pack of 120 dogs. I'm not going to sit out there and walk around with treats because your dog's being force-free trained and the only way that it listens to anything is to have a damn treat bag on you. That's not what goes on here. That's not my daycare. And most of the daycares around here, I don't think they do that anyway. almost every daycare across the country has some kind of something to stop the dogs. Let it be a water bottle to get their attention to stop playing. You know, if you're having some structured social play, a corsage whip or something as just pressure, like a cane. And I'm not saying, you know, don't blow this out of proportion that you're hitting the dog with the thing, but you got it like just something like this. Hey, cut it out, and that's it. Or use it as a spatial pressure, like this cane. That's it. You know, and sometimes I walk out there with my cane anyway because of my back. But you know, don't tell me I'm not using a water bottle. Then get the hell out of my business, because this is not a force-free dog daycare either. And good luck. I would love to see that where there is no correction, not even the word no, at any dog daycare. I'd love to see that. In a pack of 120 dogs. So. Yeah, I just made this video because I saw this thing pop up on my page here where somebody got a notification that they could not adopt a dog because they only go with science. Their science. There's other science that counters that crap. Science-based training, and for every article that they would post on science things, we would post other science. It's counter, you know. But again, most of the time I do not see, and again, there's good force-free trainers out there that do some great stuff, and they do some great shelter work and stuff too. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the force-free trainer that wants to remove me or my customers or just anybody who owns a dog from using the word no against their dog and make that word illegal, or a martingale illegal, or a prong collar illegal. Those force-free trainers I have a problem with. Because those force-free trainers are probably also starving the dog. So they find it acceptable to starve their dog for 4 or 5 days to force them to take a treat. But that's acceptable. That's insanity. So in any way, like I've gotten into it with some people even on this ABC forum a little bit. I've been posting a little bit about our work, and one lady came on, called me an animal abuser because I saved the dog's life using very low stim remote collar. And my problem with that is, if I'm an animal abuser for using remote collar and very low stim, then surely she is calling every police officer canine unit that uses remote collar as well an animal abuser. Because Animal Behavior College cannot have it both ways. That would make them a hypocrite. Right? So if there's Animal Behavior College alumni like myself that uses remote collar, then surely anybody that's disabled that uses remote collars for their dogs as well, or some of our military have some service dogs too, and some of them may be on remote collar, then are those animal abusers? We need to draw a line to where they're talking, because the type of remote collar pressure that I'm using is this. That pressure, and I'll go toe-to-toe on this too, if they have a martingale on the dog, just a regular martingale collar, this thing, right, martingale, put that around your neck, right, and if you're not using it properly, let me jerk that around a little bit. Tell me how good that feels. All right, so even if they're using it in the slightest way, a little bit of pressure like this, on a force-free place, they may be an animal abuser then, right? Because they're using pressure. So why can't I use the slightest touch pressure on remote, but they're allowed to use that? Or let me put a harness on a dog, right? And I'm teaching them to walk with it. And anytime that leash gets tight, they're actually causing pressure onto the dog. Why isn't that called animal abuse in their eyes? I don't know. I want answers on that, because let me put a harness around your body and give some pressure. And then you tell me how well that feels. Especially if the dog might have a bad back or something, or who the hell knows, you know? So, I mean, how far are they going to push this? But they go in front of these councils and these towns, and they're touting their force-free movements, and then you got this crap that's going on in Florida right now. Or when these people in Toronto woke up one day and all the tools were just customers. Imagine, even if I wasn't a dog trainer, I just walked my dog on a prong collar, it became illegal the next day. What do you mean? I get cited for that? Who the hell passed that law? Who pushed for that? You know? So, you know, for some reason, whatever tool that they use, pressure, or if it's starving a dog to take a treat, skipping meals, that's acceptable in their eyes. You know, and it's really not. I actually know. There we go. I actually know a dog trainers use this, and feeding these chemicals to the dog is acceptable, but using a prong collar is not. So poisoning a dog or making them fat or making them giving them chemicals that are not good for them, acceptable in their eyes. Martingale collar, slip lead, unacceptable. So where are they going to draw the line? I have no idea. But I just made this video because I read that, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Failed adoption because the person uses a prong collar or a slip lead or a martingale collar. They only believe in force-free movement and the teachings of Dr. Ian Dunbar, who has euthanized dogs. Same with Victoria Stilwell, has euthanized dogs on her show. Yet that force-free movement loves them. I don't think I've seen, and no matter what you think about Cesar Millan, I don't think I've seen an episode where Cesar Millan called up the family and said, yeah, kill your dog. Victoria Stilwell did, and that's acceptable in their eyes. That's the cult-like mentality. And again, I'm not, it makes me mad, but I'm not really that mad. I'm just, you know, like, to say what Jeff said, I'm passionate about what I do, especially I just got back from the animal shelter yesterday and I saw all those dogs there and stuff. And I can't even imagine, like, the shelters that I work with telling somebody that they can't adopt a dog out because they use a slip lead. That's insanity. Or because they have an electric fence at home. And this stuff happens. I know it. You know, I'm involved with a lot of these shelters. The ones that don't want to work with me, they'd rather kill the dog, which they did last week. You use tools, yeah, we want to kill a dog instead, sorry. The force-free trainers tried working with them. They said they can't do anything, giving it a treat, giving it a can of Cheese Whiz, and we're going to kill the dog. And they did. And so now a dog is dead for something like leash reactivity that could have been resolved or managed using some kind of other tools and methods, but because the dog did not respond to them, so the dog's acting up on the sight of another dog, they're feeding it Cheese Whiz. Dog's not caring about Cheese Whiz. They're feeding it treats, try to take their mind off, and that did not work for this dog. So they said kill the dog. So they killed him. So it's a shame. You know, it makes me mad. But all right, thanks for watching, guys. I was just it's up, Roland. That's my nephew. Yeah, I know, Kate. Again, it's not every. There are some really good force-free trainers, positive trainers, and stuff like that out there that I like. I watch their stuff too because it's always cool. I came from that background too, you know. But it's those that are forcing this movement to remove all training tools whatsoever except for a harness and treats. And that is insanity. But for some reason, the pressure on the harness that may be causing the dog pain as well, that's acceptable. That's acceptable pressure for them. And force-feeding treats that are not good for dogs, like Cheese Whiz, or continuing to feed treats. I had a customer come to me and said one of the really well-known force-feed trainers in this area was not, made the dog so overweight. She said she didn't really want to train with treats anymore. And it messed up the dog psychologically, she said. Everything she did was around food. So imagine, I said to go sit on this chair, and every time, even with a human, sit in this chair, chocolate bar, good. Come over here, come by this door, chocolate bar, good. Come over here, sit down, chocolate bar, chocolate bar, chocolate bar. Go watch TV, chocolate bar. Like, think about what you're doing by doing that. And some of them really want you just to walk around with a treat bag all damn day. And that's not good either. So there's bad force-free trainers too out there. Bad balance trainers too. But you don't see a whole lot of balance trainers out there trying to make treats illegal or harnesses illegal. You know? That's the different mindset that I'm trying to bring her across here. So I got to get back to doing it. We got a ton of training to get back to. But yeah, this is the setup right now. I got dogs upstairs as well. But you know, this guy was going to be put down, man. For when he came to us, I seen what the issue was. It was a pretty bad kennel reactivity. As bad as it got, you know. So if you go to, he's from Newark, New Jersey. So if you were in Newark, New Jersey, going through that shelter, I can just imagine how he was acting, you know. And I am a big fan of these Pro Select crates. They're a little pricier, they're about $400 or $500 on Amazon. But I highly recommend if you have a rescue or a shelter, I kind of call them King Kong crate too because they're pretty indestructible. If you have a dog that has issues. But the difference between this and a wire crate is some of the frustration that a wire crate would give because they're looking through this, like this with their eyes, through the small wire crate. Where now they're just looking through a much, gives them more space to look through. So it does make a difference. And that's why up at our shelter, we're moving to some nice Snyder manufacturing kennels where they're glass, reinforced glass. So they even bring some of that frustration down from looking in a wire kennel all the time. All right, guys, I get back to training. Thanks for watching. Just my 2 cents on this craziness that I'm seeing. It's just